We call it a journey because, again, we're not there yet. And as we move, as it's an ongoing and living process, and we learn from our educational partners, our students, our families, our educators, our partners, and that's where we say, well, how do we move from doing this work into this thing called community schools? What is this community schools approach? And so we started learning about, as we piloted a couple of years ago, this idea of community schools. We heard about it. It was happening in New York. It was happening up in Oakland and Hayward. And we said, man, that's interesting. So we took a trip and we said, and at that point we had piloted a couple at schools to learn more. And Araceli was on that trip, as we learned in Hayward and New York, to learn more about their approach. And so what we wanted to do, and you'll see this, is the intention is to be integrated with the district vision, the district initiatives, and everyone is a part of the community schools approach. And so we know that there's been gaps for us. Some of that, challenges is that family community engagement was living outside of the classroom. Teachers weren't seeing themselves as part of that work. And no fault of anyone. It's just that they were busy doing their thing in the classroom. And so as we married the two, the family community engagement, the community schools approach, and we brought in the instruction, as Manuel mentioned, and you go to the next slide, you will see at the heart of our vision, at the heart of the community schools work, is thriving students, period, thriving students. And we can't have that if we don't have thriving families and thriving communities and thriving schools. And so for us, how we define community schools for us here in Anaheim is that a community school is a safe place at the heart of the community where students, staff, and families are connected and work together to expand opportunities and address the needs of the whole child so that all students can thrive and realize their unlimited potential. Again, connecting it back to our vision, connecting it to the work that we are all in, which is education. And then, yes, we cannot do that work without our families and our community and our staff. And our measure of success is thriving students, right? And so as you create that opportunity to bring our families and your community and your schools together through the community schools approach, you're centering your work around students. You're creating an environment, as you're looking to this ring, this black ring, the third ring in this approach, this framework, assets-based approach for our students, for our families, for our staff on the campuses, right? For our community. You're looking through that lens. You're creating collaboration to create a relationship, to create mutual trust, right? That's how you are able to push each other, knowing that we all want the same, which is thriving students, thriving families, thriving communities. So we got to create that environment to be able to push each other, to be able to advocate for the work that we all are doing to ensure success of our students and our families, communities, and schools. We're going to zoom in on the 4 pillars, which is the next ring. Oh, go back just one for 1 second. The 4 pillars, you'll see that second to last ring, and that is as we research and as we look at best practices, we know that there are 4 pillars of community schools. I know that there's other frameworks that we've embedded in our approach as well, but 4 pillars. As across the country, we know that 4 pillars of community schooling is this work, and you'll see that. The last ring is, again, centering it back into instruction and the teaching and learning for not only students, but for educators through professional learning, for our staff through supporting learning at home. And that is youth, voice, and purpose, how important that is. That is technical skills, right? And that is 21st century skills. And we defined here as our 5 C's, which again brought back to our values. So you'll see that again, as we focus on students thriving, we look at the community schools approach, and then we sandwich it right back to those 3 areas of focus for us around community schools.